Okay, friends, it looks like I'm live. I hope you hear me well and that this is a crisp, clear picture because we have redone our internet. This time we are using Verizon um, Home 5G network, and we're using the highest grade that they have. So, anyway, I hope that you can hear me and this is working. You can ask me questions during this live. And when you do questions, just just type them in and I will answer any questions you may have. Someone has writing some things. I put on Facebook that I was going to go live, but they might be confused and not realize that I am actually going live on my YouTube channel. So I don't see, oh wait, no, I do see someone on right now. Whoever just went on, can you type in the chat? Can you hear me? Because I am on a new internet company. I'm trying Verizon Home G Net Internet because when I did my Mounjaro Monday live this last Monday, on my Cox cable internet, it froze after 10 minutes. And I didn't even know it froze until my good friend JP gave me a super chat and it came up really big and it said, Gina, you're frozen. I was like, oh no. I'd been going for 25 minutes, but people could only see the first 10 minutes. So that's why this is a part 3. Oh, and it looks like Thomas has written, yay, got the live, wishing you a speedy recovery. Oh, good. Can you hear me, Thomas? And can you hear me, Judy? Judy says, I hear you loud and clear. Yay. So this new internet is working. Awesome. And it's cheaper too. Oh my gosh, you guys. So if anyone who has Verizon as a cell phone provider, I do and have for many years, and they keep trying to get me to try their home internet. And I kept thinking my cable internet would be better because, it's cable. You'd think it would be better, but it was just absolutely horrible on Monday. And I had worked so hard trying to deliver a great program for you to share best practices for finding a really good doctor. And if you do have a doctor who makes you nervous, who makes you feel bad about yourself, you might need to find a different doctor. And I had one of those and I switched. And I'm so glad I did because the new doctor I had was fantastic. And my surgery was yesterday. And look, I'm up and running around. She was able, I had, for those of you, if this is your first time watching my channel, I've been taking Mounjaro. I've been on the 5 milligram lately. I've completed 13 weeks on Mounjaro, and I will tell you, in 13 weeks, I've lost 18 pounds. So is that a ton of weight? No, but guess what? It's what I'm shooting for because I'm shooting for 1 to 2 pounds a week because that's healthy and that will help me. I still might get some loose skin, but I need to lose a lot of weight and I don't want to have a lot of loosey-goosey skin and need to have like a skin removal weight loss surgery. I don't want to have to do that. So I'm trying to do it as healthy as possible and to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week. And that's what I've been able to do on Mounjaro. I also have type 2 diabetes and I'm going through menopause. And I'm so excited, you guys. I saw a video today from a lady who's an endocrinologist. I've been following her. She is actually going to join me maybe next week. I don't know. Now that I have good internet, I didn't want to have her on until I had my internet issues taken care of. But her name is Dr. Susan Bryan. And she not only is an endocrinologist, I found out today that she also is certified in helping people with menopause, and she has a special certification that she has to take a test every 3 years to be on top of all the things that happen to you when you have menopause and perimenopause. And She also is a researcher, and she's on top of all of these medications. She follows what they're doing in the trials, and she helps out with clinical trials. And she also is on top of her game, knowing what the next thing that's coming out after Mounjaro and Zepbound. And it's through Eli Lilly, I believe. They sometimes they like to call it the G3, because what's cool about Mounjaro and Zepbound, which is the exact same thing, Mounjaro and Zepbound, it's tirzepatide. Tirzepatide has two G things. It's a GPL1 hormone that helps you not have so many food thoughts where you're just constantly thinking about food. It kind of stops that food talking in your brain, and it also helps you to feel fuller longer. And it also has a second thing with the G, and it's a GIP. And a GIP is another hormone. So it's got like two hormones to help you not to stay fuller longer, and to not be thinking about food all the time, and stop that crazy monkey brain where you're constantly thinking about your next snack while you're eating a snack. Those of you who've had that, I'm one of those. And Mounjaro is very helpful with that, and can be even more helpful than Ozempic, because Ozempic and Wegovy just have the one GLP-1, where Mounjaro and Zepbound have two. They have the GLP-1 and they have the GIP. Well, the next thing that Eli Lilly is coming out with, and it starts with an R. I don't know, but it's a G3, because it also has glucagon. Glucagon, I believe in it. So it has three things with the G in it. And it's in stage 3 clinical trials, and it's doing a lot of really wonderful things that can help you with menopause, as well as can even help with the sleep apnea. They're discovering that it's really helping with that too. And I found out today from listening to her that if my okay, let me backtrack just a minute. My surgery that I had postmenopausal bleeding, and I talk about that. This is actually a part 3 this week. I did a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3 on my Mounjaro week 13 journey, 13 weeks in. And the first 2, I talked about choosing a good doctor. So if you want to see those, here's where I'll be putting part 1 after the live is over. Here I'll be putting part 2. And today is part 3. But my surgery went great. I was having postmenopausal bleeding. And what that means is when you go 12 full months with no period, and you're not pregnant and you're a little older, and you go 12 full months without a period, you're in full menopause, which is great. But anytime after a whole year of not bleeding, you bleed even a teeny tiny bit, you got to see your doctor, because that's called postmenopausal bleeding. And it's one of the first signs you can get for cancer, for some female cancers like cervical cancer, or endometrial cancer, any of your little uterine cancers, and possibly even ovarian cancer. And gosh darn it, 13 months into not having a period, at the end of January, I bled for a week, and then I stopped. And then a month later, I bled for 2.5 weeks. But in the middle there, between my 2 times that I bled, I let my mom know, who's a nurse practitioner, a retired nurse practitioner. Gosh darn it, I was under so much stress because my husband is right now going through bladder cancer, and he had a bladder cancer surgery in January, and I was very stressed about that. And I started Mounjaro on January 10th, and on January 25th, I started having some bleeding. So I thought maybe it was stress. And my mom said, "Oh my gosh, Gina, that's postmenopausal bleeding." And anytime that happens to you, ladies and gentlemen, if that happens to your wife or to your mom, they need to see a doctor just in case, to be tested, to make sure that they don't have any cancers. Now, I also found out it's not always cancer. So you might have postmenopausal bleeding, And really, it's not a big whoop. Sometimes you have a burst of hormones just kind of happen. And hey, I had a burst of hormones knowing my husband, who I love dearly, has cancer. I had a burst of hormones at the same time because on Christmas Day, I found out I'm going to be a grandma. Yay! For the first time. And those are some happy hormones. So I am sure my hormones were raging in January. And that may have started some of the bleeding. It might be that. Also, Mounjaro, um, it is a hormone. And that might be something that kind of woke up my other hormones too, as a possibility. And here's what happens when, and I mentioned this in part two um, video that I did this week. Another endocrinologist I also follow, her name is Menopause Taylor is her channel, and she's awesome, and she's full of information about menopause. And she said when you have a big burst of hormones, your uterus goes, yay, fertilizer. Oh, I've been missing my fertilizer. And it sucks up that fertilizer and says, let's grow a lawn. And then it grows this nice thick lawn. And then the lawn gets a little bit too thick. And then your uterus goes, oh my goodness, my lawn's too thick. It's time to mow. And then it mows the lawn and your grass clippings fall out of you. And those grass clippings might be okay. They're just, it's just a normal what a uterus does. And it did it because it had some extra hormones. But you might have some weeds in that lawn, and those weeds might be cancerous. So I'm going to find out if my lawn clippings have weeds. Hey, what do you got, Jeff?
If you're clogged up because of all your weeds or whatever, I got this to make the internet go faster.
Yay!
Unclog things. Take a look.
Ooh, Verizon Internet Gateway.
Look, unclog things.
He's got my Kirkland brand of Miralax in there. Yeah, that's another thing. When you have surgery, oh my gosh, I thought one of my biggest side effects that I have taking Mounjaro is I get very constipated. And having surgery and being knocked out with anesthesia also is constipating. So I've been having to take my Miralax lookalike here from Kirkland. So thank you.
Maybe your
very
viewers
much.
Can tell if the bandwidth has been better.
Yeah. Hey, people are telling me they can hear me loud and clear. Isn't that exciting? Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about that people can actually see what's going on. Oh, do you have anything else to share, dear? Nope. Jeff finished his 6th immunotherapy treatment on Tuesday. So he now doesn't have to do it for a little bit. He's going to need prayers because on April 30th, they're going to put a camera back in his privates and then up into his bladder and look around. And if there's nothing in there weird, then he doesn't have to do any more treatments. Then just every 3 months, they'll put a camera up in his bladder and look around. And if he's always clean, then he is just good as gold. And if they see something, then I don't know. Then there's other treatments.
Might be on a schedule,
but
we'll find out.
We'll find out. But we're going to find that out on April 30th. So those of you that are praying people, please keep the prayers up for Jeff because he did so well with his 6 weeks of immunotherapy, and he hasn't had to do chemo or radiation or any of that stuff. Just his 2 surgeries and the immunotherapy, and we're hoping that that's it for him. But we shall see.
If you need any unclogging, just let me know.
If I need any clogging, he'll be my plumber for me. And he also, he's really great at editing videos. And on July 1st, he's going to be a retired man. And we're going to take Anchor Moments on the road in our van. And so we'll be visiting some of you friends out here too. And we have 2 Anchor Moment channels, the one that you're on currently right now, and as well as Anchor Moments RV, where we'll take Anchor Moments on the road and journey in our van we've named Grace. And if anyone likes any of our fun little merch, we also have a merch store, and you can get some Anchor Moments merch. Just had to share that real quick too, just in case anyone's interested. If anything, Jeff and I are loving the merch.
Yeah.
This is what we gave each other for our 34th wedding anniversary. It's Anchor Moments merch for fun. All right. Well, oh wait, you didn't give me a kiss.
I think so.
You did?
Yes.
Wow. I'm sorry. I forgot. Here. There we go.
Bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
Okay. So that's what's going on with Jeff. So he's doing really good. During my surgery, my new gynecologist, oh my gosh, you guys, she was so wonderful. I want to share something she did to me. Number one, I wasn't supposed to have my first visit with her until April 30th because she is such a high quality, wonderful, kind, super experienced gynecologist that everybody wants to go to her. So I wasn't able to get an appointment with her until April 30th. And her front desk staff, I said, oh my gosh, I was going to have surgery on March 20th with the other gynecologist. Ooh, it's going to be a while before I get this done. And they said, just call back a few times and you never know. She might have a cancellation and you can get in early. I was able to get in on Good Friday. Good Friday. If anyone ever reads my Anchor Moments Hope, Healing, and Forgiveness book, you'll see that Good Fridays are the best for my husband and I. It's when I feel God is talking to us. We shared our first kiss on the eve of Easter. Both of our babies were born within days of Easter. My book came out at Easter. We got married at Easter. What else? I started an Anchor Moments show and signed my contract on Good Friday. And on Good Friday, I got to have my first doctor visit with my new gynecologist. And she's so kind and so wonderful and so skilled. And she got me in as quickly as she could for my surgery. Just in case I do have cancer, you want to get that taken out as fast as possible because you don't want it to hit your lymph nodes. And Jeff, he has a high-grade bladder cancer, but it didn't hit his lymph nodes. We found it beforehand, and they were able to yank it out before it ever hit his lymph nodes. So he's going to do better just because of that. And I want that to be the same case for me if it's cancer. I want it out soon. So she got me in on April 10th was my surgery this week. And when I was in my gown and I had my IV in, and she came in to see me before they wheeled me into the operating room. And she asked me if I had any questions, and she answered some of the regular questions I had, like, is it going to hurt a lot for a few days afterwards? Or, I asked her some questions like that. And then I asked her, before you wheel me in, would you mind giving me a hug? And she was so sweet. She said, well, absolutely. And she came over and she gave me just the biggest, sweetest hug. And then she wheeled me into surgery. And she did a great job when the surgery was over and they wheeled me back in the recovery room. She waited till I woke up, and she told me that when she went inside with the camera and took a look around, she said it really didn't look that bad, which is really good news. Because if I was like crazy full of cancer, she would have saw it. And so it wasn't like crazy full of cancer. So at least there's that. She did see the polyps, and she was able to scoop all the polyps out. And I had 2 fibroids that in the uterine wall, and she was able to dig those out. And she sent those to a lab, and she said it'll probably be about 2 weeks, and I'll know if it's precancerous. I still might need a hysterectomy, or if it's full of cancer, then she will give me to a gynecologist that's an oncologist as well, because they'll also need to pull out my lymph nodes and stuff and make sure that it hasn't spread. But she felt really good about it, and she wanted me to know that before she left after my surgery, to let me know she felt really good about it. And she's sending out all my stuff to the lab, and then I'll know, and I'll be honest with you guys, and I'll let you know what's going on. The reason that I'm sharing all of this is because women don't talk about their periods. We just don't. Especially once we're done with having babies and stuff, it just doesn't come up. And we need to be able to have a big sister to talk to, because if you can catch cancer really fast, it doesn't have to be a big deal, and you can live a very long life. But if you don't, because you don't know that what's happening is the first sign, then it grows and it keeps growing, and it can hit your lymph nodes, and then some women die. And I don't want that to happen to any of you out there, or to your moms, or to your wives, or to your big sisters. Um, we need to be able to have conversations about this. So we talk about breast cancer all the time, and how it hurts to have our boobs smashed, and we got to smash our boobs once a year with the mammogram to make sure, make sure that we don't have breast cancer. And so that is no longer a taboo topic anymore. And a lot of women are finding out that they have breast cancer in the early stages, and they're living. And that needs to happen for all the for any kind of cancer. And you guys out there, go for your yearly checks with your doctor. When you pee in a cup at your doctor's office for your well visit, if you have bladder cancer or prostate cancer, blood will show up under a microscope, even though your urine is yellow. And that'll clue your doctor to send you to a urologist. And then a urologist will put a little camera up and look around and go, oh, and we'll know if you have cancer or not. And if you find it really fast, you'll live. It'll be fine. But if you don't, you could die. And my grandpa died at the age of 54 of bladder cancer. So I'm very on top of Jeff, making sure that he's getting all of his stuff done correctly so he doesn't get sick. Okay, I've got a lot of questions out here, and I'm going to answer those questions. Oh, but I wanted to tell you about Dr. Susan Bryan, the endocrinologist that I saw on YouTube. She said that they are discovering that Mounjaro is very, very helpful with women in menopause, that it is helping to reduce hot flashes. And guess what? I was having hot flashes constantly before I did Mounjaro. And you know what? I haven't been having hot flashes. Those have really slowed down. And I was having night sweats, and I haven't had any night sweats. I still don't know if I have cancer or not, but I do know that my hot flashes are less, and and I haven't had any night sweats for a while, though it's getting really hot in Arizona. Today was in the 90s, so that might start happening again, but I haven't since January. It's been really pretty lovely. Also, that Mounjaro and Zepbound, they also help with when you go through menopause, you're more likely to have insulin resistance. And insulin resistance leads to type 2 diabetes. And you know what? I didn't have diabetes until 3 years ago when I was perimenopausal. And that's when my type 2 diabetes showed up. And menopause can give you, and perimenopause for my gal friends in their 40s, can give you insulin resistance. And she said that that sometimes, if you're a good candidate for hormone treatment, and I won't know if I can do hormone treatment until I find out if I have cancer or not, because if I have cancer, I can't take estrogen. But if I don't have cancer, and it was just a bunch of, my hormones being weird or whatever, hormone treatment is something I could do, and it'll help with vaginal dryness. And combined with Mounjaro, it'll help with weight loss, because taking estrogen does not help with weight loss. But if you take it in combination with Mounjaro or Ozempic, women are able to have weight loss. They're able to get rid of their insulin resistance, less chance of a heart attack because it helps you with your cholesterol, helps you with high blood pressure. And I've been seeing that already because I had to have my blood work done in order to have this surgery. And I did that 7.5 weeks into taking Mounjaro, and my cholesterol went from 169 after 2 years being on a statin to 131. So my statin with Mounjaro, wow, gave me a big dip in my cholesterol. It also helps with osteoarthritis that you can get during menopause. And if you take a little bit of estrogen and your Mounjaro, it can help with that. And my knees are already feeling better because I have a little bit of arthritis in my knees, and my knees are already feeling better. But I've also lost 18 pounds, and that's also helpful on the knees. What else did they say it helps? It helps with sleep, and it's supposed to help you it could help with anxiety and depression. And it'll help with hot flashes, night sweats, sleep disorders. A lot of those things can be helped when you have a little bit of estrogen and Mounjaro. So all things to ask your doctor about. Am I a doctor? No. I'm your big sister who's going through this with you, who's just sharing how things are going on my journey. But I am going to be adding some things about menopause. And I do have a playlist right here for Mounjaro, and I do lives every Monday. I call them my Mounjaro Monday lives. And the only reason you're getting me today on Thursday is because my internet was crappy on Monday and gave out on me. But anyway, there's a lot of good stuff coming. And that new one that's coming out, the new thing that's even better than Mounjaro because it has three G's in it. It helps you 3 different ways because it has glucagon plus the other things. It's even helping people with sleep apnea. And so it's helping with that on top of helping you lose weight and helping with cholesterol and helping with heart things. So there's a lot of great, and helping with type 2 diabetes, those of us who have type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance. So anyway, there's great things on the horizon, and Dr. Susan Bryan and I have become friends, chatting back and forth in the comments, and she is going to be my guest now that I have internet that works. So I'm going to talk with her and see it and connect and find a good date for that. Also, I'm going to be starting a book study. We're going to start it this Sunday. The book is Atomic Habits by James Clear, because we're going to need some really good habits, because Mounjaro is not a miracle drug. It doesn't melt fat off you. You still have to do all the things. You still need to eat less. You still need to move your body more. You still need to try to get good rest. You still need to drink a lot of water. You still need to be sure that you eat enough protein and that you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and fiber. You need to do all those healthy lifestyle things, but it's easier because you're not starving while you're doing it. Then that's the miracle part of using Mounjaro. Okay. What else do I want to? I think those were the big things I wanted to share. So anyone who wants to do this book study, you just need to pick up the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I will tell you, there have been a lot of issues with Mounjaro and Zepbound being hard to find because there's a whole bunch of people trying to take it right now, and they can't keep up with the demand, and they're having a hard time. It's the cool pens that pull out one of mine. It's the cool pens that are actually the issue. It's hard to manufacture these fast enough. And so it's not necessarily the medication making it fast enough, it's making the pens fast enough. And there are people doing a hashtag release the vials, because it is approved for Mounjaro and Zepbound to be released in vials where you put in a regular needle and pull it out, suck it out, and then give yourself a shot. And so that has been approved, but it hasn't been sold that way in the United States. But I've heard our friends in Australia got the vials. And if we can get the vials out here started, then that'll help take care of the shortage. So there are some shortages. People are having a hard time getting it. I lucked out. My Costco did get me another box. So I have, I think I have 6 pens right now because I was not allowed to take my Mounjaro on Monday, which I also need to let you know, if you're going to have a surgery of any kind, it could be a foot surgery, whatever surgery you're going to have, you have to let your doctor know you're taking Mounjaro or Zepbound or the tirzepatide through a compounding agency, because it makes your food stay in your stomach longer. And if you still have food in your stomach and you are being put under with anesthesia, you could throw up in your mask, and you could choke and die. So they tell you that you're to stop eating and drinking 8 hours before your surgery. But if you still have some food in your stomach because of your Mounjaro, that's going to be a big problem, and that could kill you, and you don't want that to happen. So my doctor told me to not take my Mounjaro shot on Monday. My surgery was Wednesday morning, and what I also did is I stopped eating earlier. My surgery was first thing in the morning, so they said no eating or drinking after midnight. Well, I drank water up to 11 o'clock before I fell asleep, but I didn't eat anything after dinner at 6:30. And for 3 days before my surgery, I cut out all red meat, and I stopped eating a whole bunch of vegetables and things that were high fiber. I didn't have my yellow dragon fruit that has a whole bunch of seeds and stuff in it, because I wanted to be sure that the things that I ate would empty out of my stomach. So that way my stomach would be for sure 100% empty, and it was. And I didn't have any problems. I was thirsty in the morning, which I knew I would be, but that was it. And so so that turned out just fine. Okay, now I've got to answer all these questions that you guys have. And let's see, let's start at the top. Thomas says, yay, he caught the live. He's wishing me a speedy recovery. Thanks so much, A. Thomas. Judy says, I hear you loud and clear. A. Thomas says, I can hear you. Judy says, yes, and applauding. And Navajo Princess says, hi, had to subscribe to catch up with you. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone who has subscribed to my channel. It means so much to me, and it means a lot when you click on those likes too. And it lets YouTube know that it's a good video, and they'll share it with even more people, which is really pretty cool too. Hannah Hoover says hello, and she says it has helped me so much. And my good friend Robin Lockwood said, I missed most of it. No alert for me. Here now, though. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you found it, Robin. I let her know I was going to go live tonight. And JP says, so glad you're back and online tonight. And thank you so much, JP, for giving me the super chats, and especially the super chat that you gave me on Monday night, because if I wouldn't have seen it, because it was nice when someone gives a few dollars, and it can be from 99 cents up, your chat will show up extra big and colorful, and then it catches my eye, even if I'm on a roll just giving you information before doing questions. I'll see it in the corner of my eye, and then can read it. And that's how I knew that I was frozen and I was talking to nobody for another 15-20 minutes. But then JP put that in there and really helped me out. And A. Thomas is giving me some prayer hands. Thank you. And Judy says, you both look fantastic. Oh, thanks, Judy. Donna says prayers for both of you. Robin's given me a fun little dancing guy. Bama fan 1, some prayers and a rose. Oh, thank you. And Flora Bama Bell says, hi, Bama fan 1. Oh, must be one of her friends. A lot of us are making friends in the comments. And we're becoming an Anchor Moment community. And that just makes my heart smile when you guys help each other out too. It's just great. And Don says, Don Dominique says, I can't get Mounjaro. I'm a week overdue because CVS can't get it. Oh my gosh, Don, it's been really hard for a lot of people. Actually, when my Costco got it for me, I asked him, how the heck did you get this? Because I only had to wait a couple of days, and I have friends all over the country who can't get theirs. And she said, well, Gina, we were able to get one box of 5 milligrams, and they had not been able to get 7.5, 10, 12.5, or 15 for over a month. And I was just lucky that the 5 milligram they had available and the 2.5. So people that were able to do those two, but they said that changes sometimes too. And sometimes we can't get the 2.5, and then, but we can get like the 10. But I don't know. God's just been watching over me, I guess. I don't know. But I have been able to be lucky, and really just luck, that I was able to get my 5. And I'm not supposed to do my shot again. So I had to skip this week entirely because they said with the constipation that Mounjaro gives me and the constipation from the anesthesia, that they said, really, I should probably just wait and do my shot on Monday. So that's going to make my shots last an extra week. But I'm going to need to work on my atomic habits because it also makes my hunger come back too. And we want to do the good, healthy lifestyle habits and make them easy. And Atomic Habits talks about that if you want to create a habit, you need to make that habit extra easy for yourself. And then it just becomes automatic. And that's what I'm hoping. And a couple years back, Jeff and I, without taking any medication, I was able to lose 47 pounds and Jeff was able to lose 72 pounds. And we were doing the 4-4-4 meal plan. And so I have a lot of videos about cooking vegetables and making like my veggie cabbage soup and stuff like that. And we were counting calories. We were eating 400 calories 4 times a day and not counting vegetables. And though we call those freebie foods. And so really more than 1,600 calories, but not too bad. And that was really helpful. And we followed it perfectly for months till we went on vacation. And then once we went on vacation, all hell broke loose. We came back after a week, we gained a bunch of weight back, and then it was hard to get back on the wheel again. And we slowly started gaining weight back. But we are hitting it again because we know it works. And so it works for me anyway. And for Jeff, we do better when we count calories and we make sure we get plenty of fruits and vegetables in, and protein and water. So anyway, and we want to go back to reading Atomic Habits. We'll be doing 1 chapter a week. Our first chapter we'll do this Sunday. I'm going to go live at 5 o'clock Arizona time, which is 7 o'clock. Is 7 o'clock Central and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you guys can get the book, read the first chapter, and we'll talk about it on a live. Okay. Carrie says, I'm so glad your surgery went well. Prayers, everything turned out just fine. Thank you, Carrie. And Donna says, Gina's video is so much better with your new provider. Tell Jeff, good job setting it up. And JP says, hey, big sister, your internet is smooth as butter now. Yay! Did I tell you I'm happy you're back and better? Welcome back. Thank you so much, JP. And Ninja Mom says, my cousins live in Australia and there's a waiting list of 2 months to get Mounjaro filled. Wow. Doesn't seem to matter that it's in vials. Oh, okay. It's so many people want it. It's such a good medication. It's just been so wonderful for me. I can see how it's going to be an issue, but I also know they are building, Eli Lilly is building a big factory in North Carolina. Another Mounjaro, Brittany something does Mounjaro, and she has a YouTube channel, and she lives close by where the manufacturing plant is, and she says it's gigantuan and they're really building it fast, and that's going to help too because they're going to be concentrating on Mounjaro and Zepbound there. Ninja Mom says, she said about Australia. Robin says places have different vendors, got to call around. Yes. And my friend here who mentioned that they couldn't find it at CVS, try some other pharmacies. Call every pharmacy that you can, and remember to drink your water. Try to get at least 100 ounces of water in a day, not like 5 gallons because that's like too much. You can ask your doctor exactly how much water you need for your height and weight and age. But generally around 100 ounces of water, a lot of doctors are saying, including my own doctor. And protein. Nutritionists say, and registered dietitian nutritionists, not fad doctors, real dietitians, say to try to eat 30 grams of protein 3 times a day with your meals. And that's 90 grams of protein. And I've heard other YouTubers who are taking Mounjaro say that their doctors are telling them around 100. Well, 90 is pretty close to 100. So, you want to be sure you're getting plenty of protein. You want to be sure you're getting plenty of vegetables so you have good fiber. And vegetables are full of vitamins and minerals anyway, and they make you feel fuller longer. You want to be able to walk or do whatever you can to get extra movement in during the day. Take the stairs, park your car farther away from the grocery store. Every step counts. If you're in a wheelchair, I know I worked at the YMCA and we used to have a special machine that was like a bicycle for people that were in wheelchairs that could move their arms, and they can really get their heart rate up doing that. Whatever you can do for movement, swimming, whatever you got, getting some extra movement in, especially these weeks that you might not have a shot. So that way you don't backslide and start gaining weight again. Anchor Moments RV says, checking video quality looks good and I love your message. Hey, that's my hubby. Anchor Moments RV is our second YouTube channel. And Carrie says, I also watch Brittany. Oh, I know, isn't Brittany great? I love Brittany. And there's a Mindy out there that's awesome. And the Countess is shopping. She's a lot of fun. The man on the pen, Dave, can't think of his last name, but he's been really working hard on the hashtag release the vials. There's a lot of really good people out there, and I watch all of them and subscribe to them too. And let's see, Mega Losing says, I have big sister in menopause. Maybe we will get her the compound. Yeah, because it, check out Dr. Susan Bryan. I'll try to put her link, maybe the link to the exact video I saw. I'll go back in the description and I'll add that so you can check out her video. Oh my gosh, it was just such good news. And if I don't have cancer, I am going to ask to have my hormones checked and see, am I a little low on estrogen and maybe having a little bit of estrogen? And I might have to have a little progesterone. She said sometimes when you do the estrogen, if you still have your uterus, I don't know, I might end up losing my uterus. I'm not quite sure where I'm at. But if I need a little bit of something like that mixed with the Mounjaro, it's supposed to be really helpful, can be really helpful with your menopause. And that was just so exciting. And I started a menopause playlist today. So this is the first video on that. And Ninja Mom says, Nap. Thanks, Dave Knapp, on the pen. He's wonderful. And Jamie Chow says, hello, I'm so excited I caught you live. This is week number 5 for me, but my first week on the compound. So far, it's doing great. So there are compounding pharmacies that you can get tirzepatide, and you just have to make sure that it's a reliable, dependable one, and it's not something on the internet that's going to fake it and give you, I don't know, water in a vial or something for a bunch of money. So make sure you've got a reliable place and check out the reviews and stuff and make sure you've got a reliable place. But that is another way that you can get it, because when Mounjaro and Zepbound are name brands, but if they are having a hard time producing and they can't get enough for all their patients, then the FDA lets these smaller, they call them compounding pharmacies, that they can make up some tirzepatide themselves. And I think they give it to you in a vial. but some of you guys will have to say, because I haven't tried that yet. So far, I've been very lucky with my Costco pharmacy. But like I say, I'm not taking 10 or 12 and a half because my particular pharmacy wouldn't be able to get that for me at the moment. Maybe in the future, but not at the moment. And I lucked out with my 5 milligrams. They had it. And they say they check like every day, and they only can buy 1 box at a time. So it's tight out there. Okay, I think that's all the questions. I want to thank everybody for being on this live, and I'm really excited about doing the live with the book, on Sunday. There's another program I'm going to try called SteamYard, but again, I'm an old lady trying to do technology here. But maybe if I do it on a Sunday, and Jeff's pretty smart with stuff. We've never tried StreamYard before, but I heard that it's really good. I'd be able to move like the questions that you have, I can move it to the front of the screen. So it shows up like right here, nice and big. There's more things I can do with it. And it'll be really great when I bring people on that will be doing interviews, because I'm going to be bringing some of these other people. I talked to Mindy Pedersen, I think is the name of the gal, who also, she's lost over 100 pounds. She's precious. I asked her if she'd be willing to come on my show, and she said yes, that she would. And so I want to learn how to do this SteamYard thing so I can bring in some really cool guests for you guys, so you can have a few of us on Mounjaro Mondays and make it just always fun and interesting. And bring in specialists too when I can, like endocrinologists and things that I see that are good, that do good stuff. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And and check out, I always have an end screen at the end of every video. I put an end screen up. I can't immediately after the live. I have to wait until the next day because YouTube like processes the live, I guess. And then the day after I do a live, I can add cards and point up to cards. And I can also add an end screen. And the end screen, I always put the Mounjaro playlist. So that way you can click it and you can see if there's any videos that you missed, because there's a lot of really good ones and there's a different topic every week. And then also I choose usually best for viewer. And I have a lot of videos on this channel. I have over 100 videos that I've done over the years. And there may be something really awesome that YouTube thinks that you would like based on your history. And then that one will show up probably, I don't know, on one of the sides here will be one of those squares. So always check out the end and see if there's something that'd be really fun for you to watch next. And everybody have a great week. And thank you for the prayers for me and Jeff. Really, really appreciate it. Bye-bye.